Tonight, America's most elite counterterrorism unit, SFOD-D, better known as Delta Force, conducted one of the most daring and consequential raids in modern military history. They struck Dastvareh Missile City, Iran's most secretive and heavily defended underground nuclear missile complex, and effectively ended Iran's nuclear weapons program in a single night of controlled fury. This was not a symbolic strike. This was the endgame. For years, Dastvareh had been Iran's crown jewel, a sprawling underground fortress buried deep in the mountains, where the Sea was racing to weaponize enriched uranium and mate it with advanced ballistic missiles. The site was so sensitive that only a handful of top regime officials even knew its full layout. But U.S. intelligence had been watching. When the window finally opened, Delta Force was sent in to close it forever. The operation was named Silent Eclipse. It began with absolute secrecy at a forward staging location. Delta operators, handpicked for this mission, spent the final hours checking their gear in silence. Suppressed rifles, night vision, breaching charges, medical kits, and secure tablets loaded with 3D maps of the facility. No long speeches, just quiet nods and the knowledge that they were about to do something history books would write about for decades. The insertion was pure Night Stalker's magic. MH-47G Chinooks from the 160th SOAR flew nap of the Earth for hundreds of miles, skimming valleys and ridgelines in total darkness. The pilots, legends in their own right, delivered the Delta operators to a small landing zone less than 3 kilometers from the main entrance of Dastvareh. The moment the helicopters touched down, the operators disappeared into the night. They moved like shadows, fast, silent, lethal. No one spoke unless absolutely necessary. Every step was rehearsed, every corner anticipated. The outer perimeter was breached in under 9 minutes. Delta snipers took out guard towers with whisper-quiet shots. Breaching teams used shaped charges that produced almost no sound. By the time the first alarms finally sounded inside the complex, the operators were already deep inside the mountain. What followed was a masterclass in close-quarters combat. Delta cleared corridor after corridor with ruthless efficiency. Flashbangs lit up underground halls. Suppressed gunfire dropped Irji guards before they could raise the alarm. The operators moved like they owned the darkness, because tonight they did. The deepest levels were the most critical. Here, Delta found what they had come for: rows of advanced centrifuges spinning at full speed, warhead assembly lines, and storage vaults containing enough enriched uranium to build multiple nuclear devices. The site wasn't just for research, it was months away from producing operational nuclear warheads. The demolition teams went to work. Every centrifuge, every control console, every fuel storage tank was rigged with precise charges. Meanwhile, other operators secured the scientists and engineers working the night shift, zip-tying them and moving them toward the extraction point. Several senior nuclear scientists were captured alive, an intelligence jackpot that will keep analysts busy for years. When Iranian quick reaction forces finally mobilized, it was too late. Delta had already wired the heart of the facility. As the operators withdrew, a series of perfectly timed explosions ripped through the mountain. The ground shook for miles. Massive sections of the underground complex collapsed in on themselves. Fire and smoke poured out of ventilation shafts as Dastvareh Missile City died in the darkness. Exfiltration was just as flawless. The Night Stalkers brought the helicopters back in under fire. Delta operators loaded the high-value detainees and captured intelligence materials, then climbed aboard as bullets sparked off the armored fuselages. The Chinooks lifted off heavy and disappeared into the night, evading Iranian air defenses on the way out. All operators returned safely. No American casualties. This raid has effectively ended Iran's nuclear weapons program for the foreseeable future. The destruction of Dastvareh removes the crown jewel of their clandestine efforts. The captured scientists and terabytes of data will give the United States and its allies unprecedented insight into Iran's entire program. The psychological impact on the Iranian regime is incalculable. Their most secret and protected facility was found, raided, and destroyed in a single night. The IRGC's aura of invincibility is gone. Global markets reacted with immediate relief. Oil prices dropped as fears of nuclear escalation in the region eased. Shipping companies have already announced plans to resume full operations through the Strait of Hormuz. The world can breathe a little easier tonight. For the operators of SFOD-D, This was the ultimate validation of years of training and sacrifice. They went into the most heavily defended site in Iran and walked out with everything they came for. The night was theirs. Dastvareh Missile City no longer exists. Iran's nuclear dream lies in ruins. And the message has been sent loud and clear: when America decides a threat must end, it ends. The Strait of Hormuz is safer tonight. The world is safer tonight. And the men who carried out this mission have written their names into the history books in silence. This is what happens when the best in the world are turned loose. The raid is over. The mission is complete. And the long shadow of Dastvareh is finally gone.